Hello guys, what is up? It is your boy This back here with the 11th part of this wonderful series named Poneglyph. What if Luffy was Yuta's reincarnation? I hope you will enjoy this. I will go more in depth about the Zao arc than I usually do in the other series because I feel like I haven't done that enough, so I'll do it this time, so don't worry. And yeah, I just hope you enjoy. Have fun, lay back, get some food. As a matter of fact, I'm ordering myself some Chick-fil-A as we speak, and then I'm gonna have to run a shit ton because that's not gonna help with my whole diet. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all my future videos. And without any further ado, let's get into the recap. We began with the Starats fighting against Caesar, and in his endeavor, Luffy met Trafalgar as well as everyone else who asked for an alliance. That actually eventually happened. Caesar is exposed for what he is, and after Luffy captures Caesar, everyone turns on him. I mean, obviously. Luffy also finds Momonosuke, and the kids have medicine given to them by Chopper after Trafalgar kind of fixes them up. And yeah, everything is fixed up. Trafalgar joins the Straw Hats. The kids are taken away by G5. And on the Straw Hat ship, later on, Momonosuke is given hell restriction, and Zoro will begin to train him. Luffy also calls Trafalgar and tries to negotiate with Luffy, who he's on the ship of, but he fails, and the Straw Hats would then charge to Dressrosa. In doing so, they honestly don't do much. Like, they don't really like fight. Luffy does most of the fighting, but they get in touch with like things around the place, like the Tontata's doors, and find out more about the island where Luffy would beat up Luffy and free everyone by killing Sugar as well, and also along with Treble, because fuck Treble. He destroys the small factory, and then he meets his brothers. Sabo gets the Yami Yami no Mi. Ace lands a final blow on Luffy, while also showing his control over reverse curse technique. The kingdom comes together, and this battle comes to an end. Now, we will begin this by going to the two kings. We're going to go a few days ahead, that being Riku and the fighting king Elisabello at a balcony at the castle of Dressrosa. "This nation is mad," says Elisabello. "They were tricked by a pirate, blamed their king, and rejoiced in temptations of fake reality. I will not let this farce be as it is. I am not amused." "Well, I'm not exactly happy either, but I'm just happy they survived," Riku said. It had been 2 days after the incident, and the Marines had arrived and very well are aware of Luffy's presence. Ace and Sabo had already dipped because, like, just no, too many people can't be on here, and yet it seemed that the citizens saw him as well as his brothers as heroes. They began to make statues of them. And now retired Sengoku walked around the tents meant for healing, and the Tontata's princess was helping them out by using her Hebo fruit to heal those that she could. And she was also, of course, guarded by her people and Marines. Sengoku, however, soon came across the statues being built and didn't really know how to react. "It's not my fight anymore, is it? I lost my chance." He thought back to how he didn't have the time to really face Luffy, and he got knocked out of the fight way too early. But we will now cut to the seashore, seeing the Yonta Maria, the ship owned by Orlumbus, where aboard would be all those present that were at the Colosseum, and the Straw Hats with Luffy being put before them. Why are we doing this again?" Luffy asked. "We talked about this, Luffy-senpai. They want to swear on their allegiance to you," Bartolomeo said. "Yes, my grand fleet is composed of 56 ships. It'll be a great use to you," said Orlumbus. "Wait, is Luffy Dono getting a grand fleet?" Momonosuke asked. "Yes, and our chief allowed us, so we can join you guys," Leo said, with him having his dwarven brethren along with him, and Luffy is just a bit surprised. He thought that they were just joking at first when they told him this. "Please allow me to join as well," said Hydrogen. "I have 4 giant mercenaries. I heard that you met Dory and Brogy. I need to join them," answered yourself. We haven't seen those two in 2 years," Usopp said. "This is quite the leap, though," said Robin. "So what do we do, Captain?" As they all looked to him, the others honestly expect him to turn them all down because Luffy is, after all, an emperor, but he takes a seat, holding his hand out. "Give me the booze." As they brighten up, the pirates would cheer in happiness, but Luffy says that if they're going to do this, they need squads. "But don't get me wrong, if I don't want to tie you down, do what you want, and when you need us, call. We'll do the same for you." "Actually, about that, we've set up ranks by drawing lots," Olympus said. "First is Cavendish. He would have 75 pirates loyal to him. Second is, in rank, is Bartolomeo, in control of 56 ships from the Bartol Club. Third is Sai, in charge of 1,000. Fourth is Idio, the boxer. Fifth is Leo, leading 200 dwarves. And sixth is Hydrogen, leading 4 giants. And then there's me, with 4,300 at my beck and call," said Olympus. "That makes 5,600 in general, Captain Luffy." As they all take a knee, all those, the captains present would do the same. Everyone is from their crew would do the same. And this scene to Momo reminds him of what a shogun is supposed to be. But Luffy gets in a more serious demeanor, asking, "Why did you all want to pledge under me? I demand nothing but the truth." he is under more serious pressure, and they can only say that they respect how far he went to save his brother at Impel Down, and they all watched him that day as, he discarded the rules and saved Roger's son, and the fact that he killed Celestials without so much as thinking about it. For Leo, he's just happy his people were freed by him, and he just likes how honorable and nice Luffy is by being a pirate. That is the truth and nothing but the truth, Captain, they all said. This is the respect an emperor can command, Kinemon thought. This guy's actually terrifying, thought Kanjuro. Breaking into laughter, Luffy would then say, you guys practiced that or something? Joining on the laugh, they admit they don't even know what came over them, they just said it on instinct. And Luffy says they should get on with the ceremony, and so they do. In complete silence, no one even dares to, attack the ship at this moment while they're doing this. And, it's holding the King of Curses, and everyone lays down their cups after taking a drink. And Luffy would then yell, let's get this party started! Woo! Yes, it's official, let's begin a feast. A joyous celebration is then prepared with Luffy going to a city in Trafalgar as everyone is just getting food. And he would then ask Trafalgar, did you get what you came for? The goal is to beat the 4 emperors. Right. But this felt very close to you. It's almost like you've unraveled a curse that was clinging on to you for the longest time. With a smile, Trafalgar says that's one way to put it. And this is when Luffy and Trafalgar are called to join in. And grabbing Trafalgar, Luffy says not to be too much of a downer. And, they massively enjoy themselves. And later on, quickly, they make haste to leave. And they share a Viva card, each between them. But Bartolomeo got to achieve his dream. Oh my god, we're on the Sunny. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Luffy-senpai, Frankie-senpai. It's nothing much to it. Make yourselves at home. She's a beauty, isn't she? Said the cyborg. As they walk around, they say it's as cozy as a home. And Trafalgar asks if they're all extreme stands, which they absolutely proudly say yes. And looking to Luffy, Trafalgar says, how do you deal with all this hyperness? Get used to it. We're actually way more crazy than this. As he said this, the pirate was terrified of what could possibly come, because these niggas always act weird already in front of him. And this is when Momo approaches Luffy, asking if he could get lessons from him as well. After seeing the fleet, my desire to get stronger has grown. Feeling proud of their young shogun, Kanjuro and Kinemon swell up with tears, and Luffy says sure, as Zoro, who is reading a paper at this moment, a newspaper, says that their bounties have gone up a bit, and Barto and his men would bring out posters and lay them down. How did you get these so fast, Brook Hills? You know what? Never mind. Soul King is 856 million. You got Usopp, 990 million. King of Curses, 4 billion. Devil Child, 805 million. Roronoa Zoro, 1.31 billion. Black Like Sanji, 1.40 billion. General Frankie, 770 million. Cat Burglar Nami, 630 million. Tony, 550 million. Luffy, you broke into 4 billion. Congrats, Luffy senpai. Also, if you want to know, you were at 500, Trafalgar, Barto said. Thanks for the info, not that I cared. But now they're putting on the same levels of the 4 emperors for real. Zoro then says, finally, some actual good fights. Well, we're not all eager to die, Nami said. Also, why are you talking a big game? My bounty's bigger than yours, Mosshead. By a few thousands, you idiot cook. Still counts. How about you summon your prancing strippers and I'll cut them apart? How about that? Take that back. They're dignified, beautiful creatures. That's what you took out of that? As they all thought this, the intensity grows and grows as the ride continued, and the group had to get used to the new dynamic. By the way, they saw Sanji saying, only be brought in alive, but they don't care. They just don't care. To them, they just don't give a damn. And 1 week passed until they saw it, Zao. It's so huge, Chopper yells, with them all staring down this gigantic behemoth of a creature, and it's so big that it wasn't even engulfed by the sea due to its sheer size. And people live on the back of this thing, Luffy asked. Man, I love the seas. I cannot hold on anymore. As Luffy heard this voice, his observation hockey went crazy as he heard the animal say that he was very weak. He felt very weak, and yelling back, Luffy yells, what happened to you? What are you screaming at, Trafalgar asked. The elephant, it's in pain for some reason. Well, other than walking on the seas for apparently thousands of years. A ring would then hit Momonosuke's ears, with him then saying that he's hearing a voice asking for help as well, and Kanjuro as well as Kinemon help him up, asking if he's okay. Slowly but surely, Momo would block out this, ringing by concentrating on his now overwhelmingly enhanced senses, and he stands saying, I'm fine. Let's go, Luffy Dono. Alright, I guess our journey ends here, Luffy said. However, he slowly began to cry a little bit with he and the Barter crew getting into a group hug, saying that they miss each other, they legit enjoy each other's company. And Nami would take to the sky with a step, saying they're being extremely childish, but also she's gonna miss them as well. They're fun people. They would then break their hug with the Barter crew getting on their own ship, and they slowly sail away while yelling goodbye and good luck, and the stars would say the same. Nami would then go higher and higher, and Sanji would take to the skies following after her, and they eventually reached the top of the elephant before Nami tells Frankie how high he'll need to go. Alright, let's go. Blueprint, yells Frankie, with his view not being changed, allowing him to not only see through the ship, but also incorporate a blueprint that he's been saving and he made a few days ago. He activated it and took control of materials he put safe in a storage room, and Trafalgar watches as a rocket engine on the right and then on the left form on the sides of the Sunny. In that same instant, Luffy would then release an explosion of lightning, which gathers to the Sunny's artificial core, and in a blast they take to the sky, with the samurai being shocked and amazed. How did he do such a thing? Kanjuro asked. My technique lets me make anything I've thought up on the spot, Frankie said. I need material still, but you can just praise General Frankie. Posing, he yells super with Momonosuke and the samurai doing the same, because like this shit is just fire, you know what I'm saying? Like, the man can make anything. And Trafalgar thinks that with the right materials, that means that he could technically like make even the most destructive weapons on the spot. Does that mean he can even make ancient weapons with the blink of an eye, he thought? As they land, the group was then on board, with them heading out together and putting Mary in a curtain while they found the huge town of Minks. But it was of course deserted, and as he overlooks the place, Luffy and Momo keep hearing as they overlook this place, Luffy and Momo keep hearing the voice of Zunisha, and they're both trying to find out why it feels so tired. With this goal, he runs deeper into the forest. Luffy would run deeper into the forest, while Usopp gains wings and flies off, saying, I'm gonna go explore a bit, guys. With this, the rest of the group makes their way forward and past the gate, when something then runs forward, and as they get on guard, a rabbit mink launches itself as Zoro, who parries her claws with his bare hands. She leaps over him and goes at him from behind, when she's then blocked by Nami, hitting Carrot with her own attack by, using her shield, and her attack is reflected back at her tooth folds, and she's knocked back, getting a scratch on her chest. As she is left snarling, Trafalgar would then say that she is a mink, and from behind then rides in Wanda on a giant crocodile. Who are you and what do you want? She asks. An explosion of lightning then meanwhile goes off far ahead, distracting the Minks, but in a twist, Momo would then dash forward, unleashing Shinso gifted to him by Nami, as he appears behind Wanda standing on her steed and in the blink of an eye pointing his blade to her back. Whoa, Momonosuke, that was awesome, Chopper said, with Kiyomon saying that was perfect form, and now Carrot feels in a tough spot as this child somehow moves faster than her and has her friend as hostage. Deep in the forest, though, we find the Horde Pirates run to Luffy as a beaten mink lies before him, and Jean apologizes for them not being able to make him listen to reason before he attacked. It's alright, but I feel like there's a big misunderstanding going on, Luffy said. In that instant, they are all surrounded by mink warriors, with everyone getting ready for a fight, when in a scream, Beppo would then yell, "Freaking listen to us!" The anger in his voice catches them off guard as he says that Straw Hat is not an enemy. Haven't you heard of him? Mortal enemy of the Celestial Dragons? The Curse King? As they look closer, they realize that this is the same man they've been meaning to kind of meet, as amongst other races, Luffy became something akin to a liberator, and making their way down, they'd be covered with white cloaks, and they would take them off, apologizing for the issues. The others also convinced Wanda and Carrot to, not fight. They don't want to hurt them, allowing them to ride on Wanda's steed. Just as the town is then flooded by Zunisha's, water, he uses his trunk to, spew water. And they make their way to the fortress, where Chopper makes it just in time to help those who were poisoned and hung up, like the attack happened still. And they had to just save them very, very, very fast. And the doctors will be surprised by the scene before them as the Straw Hats, or more specifically Chopper, is doing his thing. Before that, though, covertly, Luffy did remove the gas plaguing the area, and it naturally dissipated, but it was not, noticed yet. People were kind of messed up. They wouldn't have been able to notice anyway. But yeah, that's why the antidote for this thing that's making everyone feel so bad is being made so easily by Chopper. Anyway, what the doctors see is a giant panda mink being carried by the heavy point Chopper that will then drop over the mink to Brain Point and original Chopper, who thanks him. Dr. Chopper? What is this? Miyagi asked, with Wanda and Carrot as well as, Milky, the assistant of Miyagi, asking the same, and clapping his hands together. Chopper's shadow would then begin to warp as it releases fur, and the reindeer point version of himself leaps out and lands with a wide smile. My base technique lets me grow horns and control them, but lately I learned to summon different parts of myself, like Shikigami. They're me and they're not me at the same time, Chopper said. This leaves them completely wild and praising the doctor, who says to shut up in embarrassment. And those who have already been healed then beg and ask if they can heal their two leaders. And Chopper would say, of course I can. I'm a doctor. It's my job. You need any help, Sanji asks. Yeah, we'll do everything we can to help. Alright then, can you make that special food, Sanji? And Frankie, I need some operating tables. Got it, they say. With Sanji then summoning two of his Shikigami, and out of his need to heal these people, his food, when fed to the patients, fills them with vitality and a ridiculous degree of life, almost like a drug. This is when Sanji would get a lift. He would get to live another dream of his, which is to have girls essentially swarming him in the form of one-eyed carrot nibbling on him as he melts in ecstasy. That was so weird to write and so weird to say. Sanji's technique, while a bit weak at the beginning, by the way, at first, now it has evolved to be highly attached to his emotions and much more in a more controlled manner. He has new effects, as shown when he's feeling charitable, his food grants people vitality. When he's angry now, he can also set you on fire, or he can regather all that energy into the ultimate binding vow. This creates an ultimate shikigami in the form of a smiling female chef. It has a giant wok and a spatula that drags fear emanated from enemies and turns it into delicious food, which it then eats, giving Sanji an explosion of cursed energy in huge amounts. This also turns his flames blue, and it lasts for about 5 minutes. I just want to let y'all know that. Anyway, after healing them up with Chopper, Luffy will then regenerate any lost limbs for those like Dogstorm and Cat Viper, but they sleep as they gotta, still get their rest. And everyone gets to know each other a little bit more, and a party begins because, everything is getting back to normal. The Minks are very happy, but they also fill in the Straw Hats on who leveled their home, and this was the Beast Pirates. And just in time, Dogstorm would then be the first to wake up out of the two leaders, and the Straw Hats enter, seeing him drinking some tea in his room. You quite a lost, Straw Hat. Words aren't enough, and Dr. Chopper, thank you for saving my life, all of you. I'm glad you're alive, my grace, Wanda said, with her then hugging him tight by the arm, while Dogstorm looked to Brooke, salivating. What a delicious-looking savor. What? I'm not a bone to chew on. Shaking his head, Dogstorm would then apologize, saying he was just hungry. That hat is very reminiscent of him. It fits you pretty well, Straw Hat. Huh? Oh, yeah, when he was younger, we traveled with him. Shanks. You know Shanks? Man, he's mad at everybody. He fell asleep? As Duke falls to his bed, Wanda would then say it's 6 o'clock. What does that have to do with anything, yells Usopp. She would then say that while Dogstorm is the Duke and the Sovereign of the Kingdom, Cat Viper is tasked with protecting the Whale Forest, and he has equal authority, but they just don't get along, and so they might even fight to the death if they ever meet again. As such, the Duke goes to sleep, and then he takes over as night is about to come, and even the doctors in that room would fall asleep at that moment. Everyone in the fortress will now fall asleep, said Wanda. I'm getting a bit sleepy too. Hearing a voice, they would then turn to see Shishilian, who Frankie would then ask who he is, and he introduces himself. And if it wasn't for that blasted gas, none of this would have happened. Surprisingly enough, though, it's dissipated. Oh, it didn't just dissipate, I made it disappear. This is surprising to hear, but Luffy said that he copied Caesar's curse right before killing him, so that's how Chopper, like I said, got the antidote. But of course, they're not going to understand the whole copying or curse thing, but they think even more. At that moment, screams of joy are then heard, with everyone getting surprised and looking outside to see, with Shishilian looking outside to see Peckham's, who will be meeting with everyone, and he had just arrived. It's Peckham's. He's back. With these words, you would then say he'll go meet him, and he just jumps down at Sanji, and would then come and see him leap down, and everyone else came to the door as well. This is when he told them that that was one of Big Mom's pirates, and that was the one that attacked their curtain. It's hard to believe that's the same guy, the cook said. But that guy, he's familiar, Zoro said, the one with him. That gangster-looking dude. I think he was a Sabaody with the other supernovas. Kapan, who was with Peckham's, at the moment looks up and sees the crew, who waved to him, and he panics, wondering why the hell they're here. But then he saw Trafalgar and his men here as well, and he said, right, Monkey D. Luffy is in an alliance. He is not gonna like this. Moments later, the crew would then get down and just does its own, they do their own thing, whether it be like going off to a train like the samurai are doing. The Momonosuke is being taught the Odin style, and the Strats are just like, they're just chilling out. But Luffy and Sanji meet with Kapan and Pegma specifically. First off, thank you so much for my people, Curse King. Or do you like Straw Hats, said Peckham's. Call me Luffy. Why'd you call us here? Sanji asked. Well, Mama's orders were to capture Caesar. She might go insane if she doesn't get him, Peckham said. I killed him though. What? Wait, you killed? Wait, did you copy his fruit? Well, yeah, not everyone here would be alive if I didn't. And as he hears this, Peckham would then say that's good. They look at each other and confirm that that's good, because then Big Mom will want to do business with them and there won't be like any big panic. Here, Kapan said, with him then handing an invitation to Sanji, who asked what it's for, and the pirate would then say Big Mom wants him to come to a wedding. She wants you to be the groom for Pudding Charlotte, the 35th daughter. What do you say, Vince Smoke Sanji? As the two are left, shocked by this, Sanji would then drop his cigarette, and Peckham's just surprised. Even the Cursed King can look scared, only for the two to burst into laughter. Sanji, you're gonna get married, man! Ah, yes, admire my superior charm, Cursed King. As they prance about and laugh and look at, like, the two would just look at each other, and they're just confused. And the Minks would then see them party and join in, like, in their dance, like fools, including Frankie, Usopp, Chopper, Brooke, and, like, Brooks plays some music. By the way, I must ask, why are we celebrating? Getting married, guys? Huh? You're gonna be a dad, Sanji? That's horrible, Usopp said. But the cook then saying to shut up because he'd be a wonderful dad. But then Peckham asks if they're being serious or are they joking, like what is going on. The party will slowly come to a stop and the laughing would as well. And Luffy would then say that it's up to Sanji if he wants to get married. I was just happy for him. He has a trouble with getting and just talking to women in general, ironically enough. Hey, I don't have bizarre pheromones that make goddesses like Boa Hancock obsess over me. But no, I'm not gonna marry. But we were planning on attacking Big Mom next anyway, right? Ooh, you're right. Wait, no, said Capon. We can infiltrate using the wedding. Big Mom took away Peckham, so let's get revenge, said the Minks. Peckham's in a panic when they say, oh, come on, man. No, you can't fight. Don't worry. We're not gonna lose, Luffy said. I almost forgot who I was talking to, Peckham's thought, as he then puts out his panicking arms, and he says that he will actually help, and looks to Capon for like disapproval, because like Capon is like, you know, not trying to get in trouble. He has a wife now, but the man already agrees, and he takes out a cigarette, saying, what do you say we make an alliance? Okay. Just like that, Peckham's thought. Peckham's, hey, how you doing? As this loud voice is heard, the giant cat viper would then jump in and, you know, hug the lion mink, who is tackled and gets guard-chewed intensely. And cat viper and would, like, you know, just be happy. His people were cheering him on because he is okay now. He's back on his feet. And this is when Pickles would ask, boss, are you supposed to be up? As he lets down the mink, he would then say he feels better than ever. And he looks around for Luffy and Chopper, and he finds him and instantly thanks them both. I thought I'd never get my arm back. No problem. If anyone deserves praise, it's my adorable doctor here. As he points to Chopper, he gets embarrassed like usual, but Cat Viper finds it funny and thanks them regardless, asking if they want to come to his side of Zou. So they take him up on the offer and are driven off on this crocodile steed, while the Straw Hats let the others in on the new alliance. Peckham's and Capon are obviously on the steed as well. And Peckham's also tells them as much as he can about the Vinsmoke family, which is a big shock that Sanji is part of them, but they also really don't mind after everything they've went through together. They've been to Empire Down, they've seen some things. This isn't really anything. Oi, guys! Looking for the crew will then see the samurai, and this is when the samurai get wide-eyed as well as the cat. Momonosuke, Lord Momonosuke Kiemon? Kanjuro, he said. Jumping down from the sea, the cat would then go and greet his old friends, as he would then have tears coming down his face as he would say, I can't believe we get to meet again. Kiemon, Momonosuke, Kanjuro. They hear the voice of Dogstorm and look back to see him arrive with his men, as he would also come to the three, and the Minks will be sitting side by side, and people are so shocked because the two are not fighting but bowing to someone else, a kid no less. Stepping up, Momo would then say, I, Kozuki Momonosuke, ask of you, is there a warrior by the name of Raizo present? The two are taken off guard by the tone with which their little master now speaks, and so are the Straw Hats, but looking at him straight in the eye, they see that Raizo is safe and behind is hidden in the will tree. He's a real troublemaker, that ninja. Yeah, he wouldn't stop screaming. Wait, you all knew? Usopp asked. Looking around, he and the Strats realized that they were willing to go that far, almost die and lose so much just for this one guy. And Frankie would break into tears saying that is just like incredibly manly. And like, bro, that scene got me in the original. It's getting me now even as I'm reciting these words. And Captain would say, we never saw a friend like that, much less Raizo, Dogstorm said. With a smile, Momo would then say they should go see him, man. They nod standing, but Peckham's would then say that they need to leave right now, honestly, to report back to Big Mom, so nothing seems suspicious. But Sanji surprisingly says that he'll go with them. Wait, Sanji, you want to go with them? What's going on? Said Momo. If you want to leave, be my guest. I don't care, Zoro said. But Sanji then saying to shut up for once, and then he continued. Remember the first time you gave us our powers? You said everyone will have to face their demons one day. That's because the energy draws you to that. Nami's faced hers. Robin has, Chopper has, Usopp has, Frankie has, Brook has, you definitely have, and even this mosshead has. I want to find the core of my cursed energy. So it seems we're going to split up for a while, said Brook. Though surprised by this, they do fully support him, as it seems that it has come time for him to face his family. And Robin said, we'll come pick you up at Whole Cake. But the nod, Sanji would then ask Peckham's and Capon to lead the way, and they nod as they would then run off with the cook waving goodbye. Hurry up, you never know. I might actually like her. She'll have to actually like you back. Don't get hurt, and keep your beaver car close, okay? Soon the three are out of sight, and Momo will then ask what is going on, with Nami then saying they were gonna fight Big Mom next, and this leaves him surprised, but Luffy is an emperor, and fighting her is kind of the next big step. I feel it's time to stop hiding then, Kinemon said. If you want, I can finally tell you the truth, Luffy don't know. In the following moments, the samurai show the Kozuki mark on their back, reveal Momonosuke as the heir to the throne, which shows why he was so adamant on getting stronger. But that means that he and Momonosuke are not father-son. Kiyomon and Momonosuke obviously are not father-son, but Kiyomon, Kanjuro, as well as Kai Viper and Duke Storm are the servants of Momonosuke. He is their liege. And with this being cleared up, they finally head up to the whale tree, and inside they find the binded Raizo to a Poneglyph, a road Poneglyph. What? That is not what I expected. He's huge. Hey, that's rude, said Raizo. We've only just... Everyone, you're here. I'm so glad you're okay. As they approach, Momo will then unsheath Shinso and swing, extending and pulling it back as Raizo's chains will then cut, leaving him and the Minks shocked. The more and more he uses it, the more it seems like the perfect weapon for him, said Frankie. Lord Momonosuke, where did you learn moves like that? Duke Storm asked, and pointing to Luffy and Zoro, he said that they trained him and they're shot because, like, they're very well-known good swordsmen. And Kanjuro said that the sword is from Nami, and he says, what its abilities are. And Raizo said, you didn't even grace the stone. Amazing. With an embarrassed look, he then says it's not that big of a deal, he's been training. And Robin approaches the Poneglyph as Duke then asks what's wrong, and she says she's just trying to read it. I'm surprised this one's red. It's unnatural. Well, you can read that stuff? Kai Viper asked. Just like Lord Orden. Your lord could read the letters? Well, this just gets more and more interesting, Robin said. Meanwhile, the boys were being wowed by Raizo, the background, but Zoro and Trafalgar were just chilling, and Nami just found it ridiculous. But for Luffy, as someone who is Japanese, this feels very, nostalgic, yes, yet fantastical at the same time. And it just feels like home, And after that, they learn about the Red Poneglyph, which are called Road Poneglyphs, and, the ones that lead to an island, the final island, they learn that can lead them to their final goal. And Robin would say, you mean Raftail? Whoa, seriously? That's our end goal. I assume it's going to take more than one though, right, Trafalgar asked? Yes, there are 4 Road Poneglyphs. Beginning to shake with excitement, Luffy would then say, this is it. This is how I become king of the pirates. Yes, let's begin our perilous journey, Brook yells. Frankie then says, we're going to have to get Sanji back in a jiffy then. We need to actually know where we're going, you idiots, Usopp yells. Well, if you're heading to Big Mom's home, then you're on the right track, said Cat Viper. She holds a Poneglyph, and that bastard Kaido does too. After that, we'll go with the last one ourselves then. Perfect, Luffy said. Let's destroy them and pound them into mush. Getting terrified, even the crew says he's being a bit too excited, but Luffy is stuck in his own world, just giggling, and as he pokes him, Chopper would then say it's gonna be like that for a while. I'm well aware of your ambitions, but you specifically, you will be hunted. You're quite valuable, said Cat Viper, as he then points to Robin, who with a smile said that she's been training herself to keep herself safe, and she has her friends. Robin's technique is even more scary than Usopp's, Frankie said. As he shudders, Usopp would then say he does not want to deal with the massive headaches that come with her domain. But, why do you guys know so much about Poneglyphs anyway? This is when the Road Poneglyphs are exposed to be made by the Kozuki clan, by everyone, and they're kind of shocked as Luffy would then snap out of his trance as he and everyone see the somber mood take over them. Before Lord Oden could even pass his knowledge on of the Poneglyphs to Lord Momonosuke, he was killed by Kaido and Orochi, said Kiyomon. And this brings the samurai and Minks to tears, having to remember the incident, especially Momo. Even as we speak, Kaido and his men are in Wano right now, said Raizo. A dead look would fill Luffy's eyes, and inexplicable anger overcomes him, as he doesn't know if he wants to head to Big Mom right now because the head of Kaido, he has to take it. Why did your boss get executed, Zoro asked. They would then say that Oden had some things that even he didn't tell them, but maybe it had to do with his journey with Roger because he saw the real truth of the world, and this was an even bigger shock to everyone. Just like old man Rayleigh, Chopper said. But we've all chosen to tell you this because we want your help, yells Kiyomon. Please, help us take down Kaido. However, at that moment, we're going to cut to Ace, as with a bloodlusted stare, he swings down towards a dragon Kaido in the performance hall of Onigashima. Maximum technique. Bring it on, son of Roger. In through the roof of Onigashima at that moment enters a massive meteor enveloped by purple flames that hit and sent many flying, including not only Kaido's right-hand men, but even Ace's own people who came to fight Kaido. But they were able to jump away in time because they were expecting it. They're hot as hell. We're not even near the flames. A massive explosion would then occur with Kaido screaming as he's pushed through floor after floor below. This pain, it hurts. But it's not enough. Opening his mouth, he blasts the meteor as he comes to a stop and releases a blast that destroys it to bits and pieces. And it would then pierce the roof, making everyone back up. And he would then envelop himself with flames, entering a final form of sorts. He comes crashing back through the performance hall and heads to the skull of Onigashima, with everyone realizing why he's such a monster. I'm gonna go get him, said Ace. Flying to him, Ace would then head to the top, and his men hold back anyone who tries to get in his way, and he makes it above. Lee is then snuck by Kaido's kanabo, and he blocks it, but he's sent flying. Draimen Hake! As he spews blood, Ace would then make a hand sign saying, "Fire insects." At the speed of sound, Kaido is then approached by bizarre insects that he then bashes through, only for a massive explosion to envelop him, as Ace would then manage to get some footing. Okay, this should be evacuating by now. The smoke at the explosion will then clear at that moment, however, to show a laughing Kaido, and with a nervous laugh, Ace will then stand. The hell are you anyway? Don't tell me you're scared now. You think you can just beat me with your cursed techniques? Your hockey is weak. Yeah, he's not wrong, and this guy's my natural enemy. Old man Hyogoro is gonna be a bit disappointed, Ace said. Well, hockey or not, I'm still hurting you, Kaido, and trust me, when he gets here, you'll die anyway. Him, huh? The Cursed King? We then fade and go 4 days later. We zoom into Germa Kingdom. Well, Germa Kingdom isn't a place. It is a place that exists on many ships that, are in the form of castles riding on the seas. And one of those castles will be approaching Whole Cake as the Vinsmoke family gathers to eat for the first time in years. Around the table are Yonji, Ichiji, Sanji, Reiji, and Niji, and Judge himself. As usual, they discuss ways to make themselves better and to benefit Germa, but of course Sanji stayed out of that stuff because he don't care. Also, I think it's kind of ironic that this is the one time you get to be useful, Sanji. Even an emperor's crew thinks you're useless. Quiet. As Judge speaks, Niji will then shut his mouth as he then asks Sanji, "For this alliance, I need to talk to you. Ask your captain if this cursed energy can be given to." Nope. The instant answer leaves Judge annoyed, but Sanji would take a bite from his plate and says to leave it alone. Cursed energy isn't something you can just mess with. Well, we have you, don't we? Asked Ichiji. As the silence sets in, Sanji would then smile and begin to chuckle as he then left everyone confused, but then he thought, "Yep, you're the same. Oh, you're all the fucking same." "Would you shut the hell up?" yells Yonji, and Sanji would then come down with a chuckle, apologizing when Judge would then bring out a photo of Zeph. "I take it this man is responsible for that picture doesn't scare me," says Sanji. "The moment you try anything, Luffy will level Germa in a second." As we're left shocked by this, Niji would then yell, "That guy's still just one guy, he's still one man, and you're just manufactured soldiers. Even with that cursed speech, you'd all die. You do know the things that Luffy would do if you hurt my old man, right? He killed a Celestial. Don't think he hesitate to murk some genocidal cyborgs." As he stands, he walks off, and a nervous sweat rolls down everyone's faces, with Sanji saying not to misinterpret their place in all this, and he would burst with cursed energy. "Even I can level this whole place if I wanted to, so shut the fuck up. I'll get married. We'll never see each other again. Did you think I was sent here to be just their scapegoat or something? I didn't come alone." As this dawns on them, they realize that they were being way too naive to believe an emperor like Luffy would just let them take his cook and go off alone, because Luffy is known to punish those he distinguishes as evil, and they are literally the definition of Nazis in One Piece, legit. Their name is Germa. Anyway, that's why every Celestial is of course afraid of him. Let's have a good ceremony tomorrow," said Judge, with Sanji then nodding and closing the doors behind, and not another word leaves their mouths, as they would then think that Sanji may be bluffing about his power because, of course they underestimate him, but Luffy killing them is not all that surprising. So, from here on out, things are going to kind of go the same, but Luffy does not come meet Sanji. Sanji has dinner with Big Mom along with his family, and then he meets Pudding, who he does fall for very fast. Then he has dinner with Big Mom alone, but as time passes, he learns something that he wished that he hadn't. By this point, the Strats have already fully split up and begin their big brain plan. People go to Wano, and the others head for Whole Cake, and it all comes down to fighting now and infiltrating to get Big Mom's Poneglyph. Copy that shit, get out, beat her up. A day passes after, and the coup would begin. "What'd you say? That brat's attacking us?" said Big Mom as she looks over to her kids in the Whole Cake Chateau. Mama. He dares betray us like this? Betray me? Mama, Big Bro Katakuri is already handling him in Brulee's mirror world, yes, Paraspero. Slamming her hand down, an angry Big Mom would then yell, "You idiot! He can copy devil fruits." Getting scared, he then shuts up, with her then saying that it's been a while since she's been this mad. We'll get used to it. From the side, the feet of Luffy are planted into her face, leaving everyone's jaw dropping, as Big Mom is then sent flying through the castle, and from a mirror, all the Strats would then leap into the room. "He copied Brulee's fruit. Don't panic, you idiots, get ready for battle. With the leap, Luffy would then jump out the hole he made, seeing Big Mom having already risen, as she would already be like riding on Zeus, and the skies would begin to darken. Meanwhile, down below, scared citizens run off in fear of the two emperors. You kicked my face, my beautiful Monkey D. Luffy. You're really pushing her. She's then caught up by the emperor, who swings and a massive cut shows on Big Mom's chest. Mama, yells Zeus as Luffy would then close in, but Lin would then grab a hold of Napoleon and meet Luffy's Noroi, but as they near one another, a pure orb of Haki is formed, sending out massive lightning as the skies will slowly part, and they weren't even like touching each other's weapons. Looking into Luffy's eyes, the Big Mom saw that he was looking at her, but he wasn't even looking like straight at her. He was underestimating her, as if this was just another fight. He was looking forward to something else, which left her pissed as their clash then ends, and Luffy would actually clash with her again and again, going hard, balls to the wall. You think it's easy to beat me, Curse King? She asked, with them releasing a violent explosion of lightning from Zeus, who is then pulled from under her as she falls, and Luffy's blade explodes with golden light as Rika forms, and Big Mom can feel her overwhelming soul to the point where she begins to drool. With the palm of her hand, Rika would then swat away the attack like nothing. Puny. Huh? She blocked it, Zeus says, as Luffy would then thrust, and the aura that is released from him turns purple, piercing the clouds and reaching Big Mom, who imbues the Conqueror's spirit into Napoleon and meets the Emperor's discharge, but Napoleon would then scream in pain from the attack as he tries to push it back, just as Luffy would give one more push and shatter him, and a shocked Big Mom is then slammed to the ground after the attack bypasses, of course, her weapon. Slowly descending, Luffy and Rika would then slowly approach, wondering if she was done yet, but Big Mom would then twitch and slowly sit as she screams, releasing a dangerous shriek that pierces the ears of everyone for miles on end, thus bringing the battle in the chateau to an end, or a stop, I guess you could say, for now. And Pound in the forest, the father of Lola, like all the homies, everyone was just shuddering. Shut up! Yells Rika, with them releasing a replicant of the scream of the Emperor, though by accident cancelling hers out, and she would then stagger up, giving a soul to her shattered bones, and thus healing herself. She's actually very, very OP. I'm gonna kill you. Right, like you can speak like that right now, Luffy said. The warrior Prometheus is then brought to Big Mom's hand, as is Zeus, and she smashes them together, imbuing her conqueror spirit into it, while Rika would then grow an eye, and slowly build up a massive amount of cursed energy from her mouth. You're so loud. Die, said the queen. As she grits her teeth, Big Mom would then release a torrent of lightning and fire, just as Rika would then release her blast, and as they clash, they release an explosion of Haki, while Big Mom would then leap to the skies, leaving behind her homies to attack, and Luffy does the same with Rika. The giant would then cover her entire body with Haki and furiously swing down with both arms, hitting and craving Luffy into the ground. As he winces in pain, he would then look up and see her coming down with a punch, and he rolls over, dodging it as a massive crevice is then opened up, but he flies to her stomach and thrusts with his sword. That alone starts a clash of Haki as Big Mom begins to laugh. Mama. Don't think just because you caught me off guard you can hit me again. It wasn't just luck, so don't get cocky. With these words, Luffy's sword would then shatter, however, as Big Mom begins to laugh. What are you gonna do now? What's that thing you always say? You want to be king of the pirates? Take it back and I might let you live. Mama. However, as he hangs mid-air, Luffy would then kick behind him and come to her face, pulling back his fist, covering it with Haki. Big Mom, being so sure of herself at this moment, would then let him punch, only for a black flash to occur, knocking her aside as few of her teeth are popped out. How did he get so strong all of a sudden? Moving to where she's falling, Luffy would then kick, yelling, Cookson. Another massive black flash would then occur, sending her flying to the sky as her homies move, dodging Rika's blast, and Zeus would then catch her, when Luffy then appears above her along with Rika, who readies her claw, and they both strike. They crush her skull in, releasing double black flashes. Cookson. No, Mama! The Emperor would then plummet to the ground with this massive force, sending out ruptures that slowly tear Switch City apart, while the citizens were being kept at bay by a lightning clone of Luffy. Mama? Lost? Seems like it. Sorry about the trouble, Luffy said. The citizens honestly don't really know how to feel about this occurrence. Big Mom is like a horrible person. She's also a complicated woman. Even people who live here hate her and yet like her at the same time. But her outbursts are far too much, and it really ruins their whole day sometimes. But honestly, it's mostly on the bad side because, you know, she does steal everyone's life force a lot. So, like, that's not cool. But this one time, Luffy kind of felt bitter from beating such an enemy, and the lightning claw would then fade as the real Luffy throws away the hilt of Noroi, which is now broken. Big Mom has fallen. As he yells this inside the castle, the battle that has stirred up would be raging, but then they'll stop and listen to Luffy, who says, I won't take over this territory. I came here to do one thing, and that's beat Big Mom, and I have. So, bye-bye. Huh? Is that bastard serious? He wrecked our town. Hearing this, the Strides would then jump out of the hole of the castle, and flying over, Rika would then catch them as they dart off. Is she dead? Nami asks. No, she's tough. She reinforced herself. Hey, Big Mom, I know you're alive. If you want some payback, then meet me at Wano when I fight Kaido. Until then, don't even make one demand out of Fishman Island. You got it? As he declares this, the peeved Big Mom, though she cannot move at all, thinks, I'll kill him, 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 that little shit, and I'll steal his curse. I need that curse. As they reach the shore, they would then meet Pedro, Carrot, Sanji waiting for them as they board the Sunny, and the crew would be happy to see Sanji again. So did you fall in love, Brooke asks? Come on, you can tell us. Well, she's Big Mom's daughter, ruthless. I didn't know what else I expected. There is sadness behind a smile, but no one wants to ask right now because they're also being attacked by Germa. Also, he sounds very sensitive, so they can talk about it later. And some of Big Mom's remaining officers have gathered around on ships as they would then yell fire, including Judge himself, and their castle ships would fire giant cannons over. But as they do, Luffy would then prepare to push it back when from inside the Sunny runs out a certain someone who takes to the skies. Jinbei? Luffy yells. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention. He was here, said Carrot. Right as the fishman would then strike and shatter the cannonball, leaving Judge horrified at his strength. Jinbei is then knocked back as he lands, turning to Luffy, and everyone who runs up say that was an amazing display of strength. Well, I'm sure it doesn't compare to beating Big Mom. Luffy, thank you. Well, it's not over yet. Her hockey's strong. I just need a bit more than curses this time. Well, let's think about that after we get out of here, Brook yells, with him then playing his violin as the ships get ready to attack, when they were then stopped by a melody, as Brook's soul would then show itself in a huge, gigantic way, having a huge smirk. He explodes with cursed energy as a murky aura begins to leak off of all the German soldiers and Big Mom pirates, and giant undead begin to roar to the skies as they rise up on their ships, tearing their ships apart and everything, attacking their weaker members. And Smoothie attacks the creature, but her kick passes through it as it claws and sends her flying, and as she spews blood. This is when Oven comes from above and comes crashing in with a fist using hockey, and they have a back and forth for a while until it eventually blows away everything and lands. Get the hell up. Don't tell me what to do, yells Smoothie. And as she stands, more of these undead, however, still just come back and are spread as the crew would then move forward, and Brook already printed the Poneglyph so they can truly just go. Alright, set course for no. What am I doing? God, Prince, oh my fucking god. Do this. Oh. Alright, set a course for Wano, Luffy yells. Leaping to the wheel, Jimmy would then ask for him to do the honors, and with a spin, he would dodge each attack and use the power of the sea to push them forward. I guess we know what your job is. Yeah, homesman it is. Oh, by the way, Lola's here, Nami said. Yeah, at least one of us got married, Sanji said, but Luffy then hearing this, little news, and he's just happy that she found someone. When they last met her, she was kind of desperate to find someone, and he can send her aboard with another. He's guessing that that's her husband, and then he heard the silent cries of a baby. How will Big Mom react? Will Luffy be able to beat Kaido as he is now? Find out in the next part of One Piece. It's been your boy Prince of What Is, and this is where I'm ending it up for now. Peace. Go.
Alive can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames I've been put up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bonnet. Don't try studying me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch.